Hey there, it's JohnBurry555 and welcome to my full review for Star Wars: The Bad Batch, Season 2, Episode 15, The Summit. So like I mentioned in my spoiler-free review, this is the first part of the 2-episode season finale that's premiering today, so check if you haven't watched it out. But as of the recording of this segment of my 2-part review is that it was an exciting episode. It set up everything very well. There was some intriguing twists and turns, and it ended with a nice cliffhanger. So basically what's going on is that the batch decide that they're going to somehow save Crosshair and the other clones there. Makes sense. And they realize that Dr. Hemlock, through some intelligence, that he's going to meet with Tarkin at the summit of Tarkin's compound on Iriadu. So I think this might be the first appearance of Iriadu on screen in canon. So I was wrong about which summit they were going to be summiting and all that. But you know what? I was still somewhat right that Dr. Hemlock would be meeting Tarkin, though that was not the only person he was meeting. Krennic Project Stardust made an appearance. So yeah, that's kind of neat. Very started for Stardust, just Project Stardust, but Krennic appeared. But that's kind of getting sidetracked from the episode itself. So they infiltrate Tarkin's compound to plant a tracking beacon on Hemlock's ship so they can track him back to his base, which we know is Mount Tantus, but they do not know that yet. And so it's going well for them. Then they notice some of the security cameras are off. Yeah, they go into investigate, and guess who they run into? Saw Gerrera. And that's on the entire Sonan's plan, because Saw's plan is to destroy the base and kill Tarkin, Hemlock, and all the other Imperial officials there. Because that probably would have stopped Project Stardust sooner, but how is he supposed to know that? But like, their missions are in direct contrast. Saw just wants to hurt the Empire, lash out against it, hurt it, and cause them pain, and that's all he wants to do. Meanwhile, the Bad Batch is like, hey, we're gathering intelligence that could help your cause, help you destroy the Empire in the future. But Saw Gerrera is so short-sighted, he just wants to hurt the Empire in the here and now. In a way, he doesn't have the patience to wait to hurt the Empire. And I think that's a very good contrast and helps explain a little bit more why later in the timeline, why Saw Gerrera is so estranged from the rest of the Rebel Alliance. He does what he wants to hurt the Empire, and he's now working in concert with the other rebel cells most of the time. So it creates friction against them. They maybe even their missions may in this case are directly opposed to each other. I do kind of like that nice little subtle hint. I also really appreciate during Hemlock's meeting with Tarkin and some other Imperial officials that they are aware that there are senators like Senator Chuchi who are fighting for the clones, and they are also aware that they still got to play a little bit by the Senate's rules because the Emperor hasn't submitted firm control yet. What is Project Stardust's intending goal? To allow the Emperor and the Empire to implement firm control of the galaxy without the need of the Senate. I really do like how all that is weaving together. But of course, things don't go to plan because they end up getting a firefight, so both of their missions are compromised. So neither of them complete their mission. So at least Saul gets to destroy parts of the base. Meanwhile, the Bad Batch, yeah, that doesn't happen. At first, I thought Saul was going to take Hemlock's shelter with a tracking beacon on it, but no, it gets destroyed when he destroys the base. Which is kind of unfortunate that the Bad Batch didn't accomplish their mission. But I have a feeling next episode with Plan 99, that will somehow allow them to accomplish this mission. But we just got to wait and see on that because I need to go and watch it. But before I do that, there's just one other little thing I would like to make note of. That the TK troopers, the stormtroopers that escorted Hemlock to Tarkin's meeting room and that came into the meeting room when the compromise of the base was discovered are all wearing red markings. Like the Coruscant shock troopers back in the Clone Wars. And also, there was, I think Imperial Shock Troopers might have been the official designation that we saw in Battlefront 1, that is the first Battlefront game. And there was a few other things like that I would mention, but kind of interesting to note. There's no Death Troopers yet, so they're using specially marked Stormtroopers, I guess. But anyhow, that's all I have for you today. I do hope you enjoyed this review. Also, let me know in the comment section down below, what did you think of the summit? I would love to hear from you. And of course, if you did enjoy my video, please be sure to give it a like, upvote, and share. and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. And as always, have a good day, a good night, wherever you are. May the force be with you, always.